and as of right now, these are the 2 surviving sets from my collection, but I am currently working on mending the train. So I may not have done everything I said I would do in the Christmas video in regards to LEGO, but I did make a valiant effort at the fabled train. So a few weeks ago, yeah, I know, I spent a good portion of my night deconstructing and fixing up the train. Like the Minecraft Snow Hideout a few days before, I had a full-scale operation going. But whereas the Minecraft set was kinda simple to do with the space that I have, this particular project obviously required just a little bit more. First and foremost was clearing my desk, which I have just been piling more and more shit on. It's literally under the guise that it's all small stuff, but when you have 100 small things, it starts to make a presence. On top of that, I had to bring this fucking tub down because I'm fairly certain that the train was housed here for a good deal of time, and of course, all the bins of organized LEGO to fill for parts I just can't find, which, newsflash, didn't really fucking help at all. See, I specifically did these to separate my pieces by color and color alone. Unfortunately though, it's kinda hard to find specific pieces in a pile of the same color, which I had to do 3 fucking times. So, in all honesty, the amount of progress that was actually made here was very minuscule, but here it is. So, the actual train itself is probably the most finished and repaired out of the 3 cars here. The major fixes here were the front bottom wheel section, as well as the back control center. Honestly, the only thing that still needs to be worked on is the roof, which only needs minimal pieces, but unfortunately are all pieces that I just can't happen to find. Oh, also the connecting axle build, which I know for a fact I can make, I just didn't feel like digging for pieces again. Now, whereas the other car saw an evolution, this one saw a de-evolution. Yeah, so before the deconstruction, this thing was way more intact. The top was kind of tiled off, and the back was actually fucking connected. Obviously, these things were lost in the rebuild, and the only explanation I can give is that this coal car sank so the others could swim. Now, the third car that is meant for all of the presents may not have had the biggest fix-ups, but it was definitely the one that surprised me the most with the amount I was able to make. So, out of all 4 cars, I knew immediately that this one was probably going to be the hardest. Before this, it was just the platform and gear system under it, but with the rebuild, I was able to make the little gates for the presents, and I was lucky enough to find the original tree that was a part of the set. Obviously, this isn't a lot in terms of improvements, but for this car, anything really is an improvement. Maybe it's because of how simple it really is compared to the rest. I don't really know, and I don't really care. I'm still missing the small cylinders and the tiny train, which I do intend to go back to at some point. And last, but certainly not least, probably the second most completed car out of the entire thing. I really like this one mostly because after all these years, it's the only one to really stay the most intact. All I really wanted to do was fix up the windows and make it structural enough to actually attach the roof to, which I was able to accomplish both. However, there are a lot of small, minute details that are missing, and it's almost glaring. You got a few missing bars here, a few overhead lanterns there, a missing chair, you know, you kind of get the idea.
Why the fuck am I even talking about this?
Anyway, being a page and a half into writing this, why not throw some stuff in about the Christmas display? You have the barren train station, and over here you have a semblance of a forming population, and before you ask, yes, I have tried to bridge the gap.
Oh. I don't even know if I make an attempt with that. Alright. Shit. Alright, this is the one we're using to test the gap. Hopefully, those are all the straight tracks I have, so hopefully that should be enough to support this bad boy. So obviously we're going to start from the train station. Let me move the chair. So this is going to move from the train station, obviously, to the other side. I thought that was going to fall. I mean, if we're doing that, we might as well put another one on there, right? I mean, what's one more, right? Okay. Full thing. What the fuck? Wow. Wow.
So if any of you are familiar with last year's Christmas display, this one isn't too different from that, with the only major difference being the inclusion of the Minecraft set, and before all of you point out, I know it's not 100% complete, that wasn't the intention, I got it to the point where I wanted it to be, I don't care. Also, I know I'm talking about Christmas in January and Winter Village in January, but Christmas, honestly, the last few years has kind of felt weird and surreal, especially in the world of LEGO, which is weird because it's probably my favorite holiday behind Killdozer Day in terms of hype and anticipation, and considering the fact that I am obsessed with the Winter Village line again, I feel like I'm going to be back in here next year to revive these two sets, or, well, in a few months from now. I also picked up this recently, not really sure when I'm going to build it. My original plan was to leave it in the attic and build it next winter, but as we all know, those urges do overcome us from time to time. Also, I'm fairly certain that these things only have like a 2-year shelf span, and considering this is the 2021 Winter Village, I am not going to risk it. I saw it at the LEGO store for $100. It said $75 when I rung it up. Bada bing, bada boom.
Oh, also, I got the fucking plant for Christmas!